enterprise, even as you keep track of your bottom line, which is profit making.
All right, question number 5. Many would say African American executives are well represented in some fields, including HR. How would you recommend companies work to ensure broader representation of African Americans in other functional areas such as operations, engineering, and finance?
No, very important question. I think that there has to be the first wave of serious mentoring. You see, there's always a significant slice of white brothers and sisters at the top tier who are open to mentoring women, brown, black, red, yellow. And that's the story of Ken Chenault's American Express. It's the story of the Dick Parsons, Time Warner. We can go right to Stanley. We can go on and on and on. It's the story of myself. There's no way I would be teaching at Princeton, having gone to Harvard and Princeton as well, without there being significant. Without there being, ooh, Lord.
You can use this one.
Without there being, thanks so much, Brother Raymond. Without there being white mentors at the top, that's the only way in which one can make real the tremendous skills, talents, personalities of folk who historically have been excluded. You see. And that's the first wave. Now, after that, the second and third wave, then you in some ways you're in a different kind of ballpark because things are already becoming more gender, color, sexually orientationally diverse at the top, you see. Because it's true, I mean, as you move further to the top, it tends to look like the National Hockey Association. Because that's part of the legacy that we're dealing with. You know what I mean? It's a white thing. But that's all right because that's part of the history. You're not going to jump over the history. You're just going to start snatching folk and put them at the top just because they're gender and race and so forth. You got qualification, you got experience and so forth and so on. Those things are requisite for the company to remain successful. But how do you make the transition? You see? And as you know, I mean, companies have a variety of different models for this and so on and so forth. You see, I mean, I would hope that Home Depot could reach the point where the country and the world could look at Home Depot and say, here it is right in ATL, right in Atlanta, international headquarters. You see. And they have come up with unique ways of ensuring access of highly qualified folk across various colors and gender and so on. And in doing it, continue to be the fastest growing retail company. That would be a magnificent reputation. And I'm sure you could very well be on the road to doing that. You see, because I both stand corrected in relative ignorance in terms of exactly what you're doing on the ground at Home Depot every week, every month, every year, and so on. But that's the kind of thing I would like to see. It's the kind of thing that I could then talk about all around the country. You see. Oh, you want a company to talk about? I was just at Home Depot when they on the move. Oh yes, they on the move. They serious about it, and they're still #1 in growth. You know, and Walmart is getting a little tired. Here come Home Depot. No, I'm just kidding. No, I can just talk. Yeah.
Okay. This is our last question, I think. What, in your opinion, has made the most successful affinity groups successful? Sort of piggybacks on the last question.
Exactly. It's a good question. I mean, even when I see Sister Hillary Clinton running for president, I get excited when I think about the history of patriarchy in America. And when I see women move to high positions in corporate America, I still get excited. Women of all colors. Mm-hmm. Because being a woman's experience I've never had is a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. I mean, it really is. It's got to be. I mean, patriarchy is real. I mean, you know, we can laugh about it, but it's very real. It really is. We struggle with this in black churches. We struggle with this on the block. And I speak as a brother so deeply shaped by patriarchal sensibilities by growing up in the home, on the block, in the churches, that I have to fight it in me. You see, because my tilt goes one direction. And so my hunch is that when you want to look at a particular group, women might be a group to take very seriously in examining Socratically to see the ways in which the mentoring networks were taking place, the networks they themselves were able to create, the ways in which they were able to negotiate and navigate within a male mainstream, as it were. And then black folk, black women themselves, and I think the next wave, and I hope the next wave of corporate leadership puts an emphasis on not just black and brown, but the women coming through. You see, and in a certain sense, that's inevitable, given the fact that, what is it now, 62% of all black students in colleges are women. So that's what the pipeline looks like. And that's a real crisis for we black brothers, in terms of even getting people in the pipeline, you see. But what's going to happen when all those women coming through, corporate America is not ready to accent their riches, to acknowledge their contributions and so forth. There's a wonderful group called the Hidden, what's it called? It's called the Hidden Brain Drain, that's what it is, that Sylvia Ann Hewlett and I had put together many years ago. We did a piece in the Harvard Business Review about 2 years ago on this issue of women, and specifically black and brown women, but as women as a whole in corporate America. You see. And it seems to me we can learn a lot from that particular group when we talk about black affinity groups or brown affinity groups. And do you all have a red affinity group? Not really, though. You don't want to forget about indigenous peoples, you know. It was their land at the beginning. They have a role to play. I spend a lot of time on reservations out in the West as well. But this sense of being open to the most talented, no matter who they are, and recognizing that a lot of times that talent has come in different forms that are not recognized by the mainstream.
Right.
And the burden oftentimes that that people are carrying in their own lives that generate different kind of skills that might not be fully appreciated in the mainstream, because it's going to be very different, you know, to have a woman CEO. The male CEOs used to putting in 100 hours a week, and the woman's got 2 kids, and she's got any sense of humanity and decency, she's going to spend some time with those precious little gifts from heaven, even if she's running the company. Well, the company has to come up with some new models. You see, it's not a matter of her fitting into the model where the white male who works 100 hours a week and his wife is home taking care of baby every day of the week. No, you have to undergo a change itself, because that's the wave of the future.